That night, the silence in the hospital felt heavier than usual. My brother's asthma had taken a sharp turn for the worse, forcing us into the emergency room before he was finally admitted to a ward on the 8th floor. Ever since our parents passed away, I was the only one he had. I was used to looking after him, but tonight, something felt off. My name is Ethan. The room they gave us was built for 2, but the other bed stood empty, stripped bare under the dim fluorescent light. My brother turned to me, his voice so weak. He asked me to drive back home, to grab his phone charger and some spare clothes. It was past 1 a.m. I told him it could wait until morning, but he insisted, pointing out that the nurses were just outside. I grabbed my jacket and stepped out into the corridor. The 8th floor was dead silent. My footsteps echoed too loudly against the cold, tiled floor. As I stood waiting for the elevator, watching the floor numbers light up one by one, a voice suddenly pierced the quiet right from behind my ear.
Where are you going, young man?
I jumped! Heart pounding. I turned around to find a middle-aged woman standing dangerously close. I swallowed my fear and replied politely, "Just heading down to the basement parking, ma'am. Going home for a bit." She stared at me, her face unreadable. "All by yourself? Aren't you afraid?" Before I could process her strange question, the elevator doors chimed and slid open. I stepped inside and held the door, inviting her in, but she didn't move. She just stood there, staring intently at me, before turning around and vanishing into one of the dark rooms down the hall. The elevator began its descent. Suddenly, it shuddered and came to a halt on the 3rd floor. The doors opened, revealing nothing but pitch-black darkness. No one was there. No one had called the lift. Just a long, yawning hallway, swallowed by shadows. As the doors closed again, the woman's words echoed in my mind. "All by yourself? Aren't you afraid?" When I finally reached basement 1, I practically ran toward my car. The parking lot was poorly lit. In the shadows, I spotted an ambulance parked next to a black vehicle with the words "hearse" printed on the side. I shrugged off the chill creeping up my spine, got into my car, and hit the gas. I slammed on the brakes. Someone, or something, had just darted right in front of my headlights. I threw the car in park, stepped out, and checked the bumper. Nothing. The basement was completely deserted. Getting back inside, I locked the doors, my hands trembling on the steering wheel. The cabin was dead silent, save for the low hum of the engine.
All by yourself. Aren't you afraid?
My blood turned to ice. Slowly, my eyes drifted up to the rearview mirror. Sitting in my back seat was the exact same woman from the 8th floor. But she was no longer human. Her skin was a sickly, bruised pallor. Her eyes were gone, replaced by hollow, pitch-black sockets sinking deep into her skull. She stared directly at me through the mirror, peeling her lips back into a wide, unnatural grin, revealing rows of sharp, jagged teeth. I screamed, killed the engine, and threw myself out of the car. A security guard found me, hyperventilating in the middle of the parking lot. When we checked the car together, the back seat was empty. Seeing how shaken I was, the guard kindly escorted me back up to the 8th floor. Before he left, he gave me a look of pity and said, "If it's past midnight, it's best not to wander outside the room, especially alone." I just nodded. Seeing how calm the guards were made me realize that in a place where life begins and ends every day, encounters like mine were just another part of the night shift. It was just my unlucky night. Thank you for listening.